Hi everyone, wish you all a good day. I thought I will share with you my views on sustainable development and how we can achieve the goals of sustainable development and contributing to achieving sustainable development goals in the world. I'm representing my views based on my experience in Sri Lanka. What is sustainable development? In short, it says the development must continue. It should not stop or destroy or go back. It should sustain. So, in order to achieve these sustainable development goals, United Nations, countries in the world, agreed and committed to achieve 17 goals. And 17 goals will be measured using almost 179 indicators. So I'm not going to talk about what are these 17 goals and its indicators, but what I want to say is, using my own experience, how we can contribute to this type of development in Sri Lanka. I'm not going to talk about negative views expressed everywhere now in the political arena, economic forums and various places. But I thought, let's look at it from very positive mindset. What can we do to achieve at least few goals? Main target is to eradicate global poverty, including our own poverty in Sri Lanka. In this respect, there are so many things that we can do as a nation. At the same time, we have so many potentials and resources to achieve those goals by the target date or the deadline 2030. The most important valuable resource that Sri Lanka has is human resource. Educated youth, educated communities. Our literacy rate is almost 99%. Of that, in Sri Lanka, the women can play a bigger role. 52% of the population is women. And if you take the higher education, 60% of women are in the higher education sector, although they don't contribute to gainful employment. But we have lots of potentials. When you talk about our natural resources, although we have different climatic zones in the country, these are not deserted places or deserts. Even the dry zone in Sri Lanka has a rainfall of 1,500 millimeters. So in actual sense, it's not a dry zone. It's a green natural endowment. So with those potentials, why we are not going or we are not seeing the results of sustainable development, I think main issue is the human factor. Starting from the top, we have not concentrated on planned development for last few decades. We started planning at the central level, giving targets and trying to implement. These are economic targets only. Sometimes most of the interventions were ad hoc, even still ad hoc. Therefore, I suggest that in order to get the maximum out of our natural resource endowment, we must go for a planned development. Plan in the sense, not only economic planning, social, cultural, political, all those concerns should be considered. Unless we go for a planned development, I think some sectors will be left behind. Some sectors will end up in disasters. Now you take for example, now we have 3 times of the country in our sea. So are we using it properly? We can be the world's largest supplier of fish actually if we use our fish resources properly. So that type of forward thinking is essential, and to do that we have educated manpower, we have systems, but somehow or other halfway we are lost. How to give a big push actually to bring this spirit, some positive push. So that's where I think development planners, even other decision makers have to concentrate to utilize the natural resource endowment in the country and the potentials available for us to achieve sustainable development. And in this respect, I think we should not rely on government alone. Government only can give indicative directions. They may prepare macro level development roadmap, but the people who should take the baton and run are the private sector and the civil society. We have a big role to play, especially the civil society. We should not rely on external support for our existence. They must be vigilant, they must be mindful of what's happening around and speak and participate in the development process of private sector as well as the government sector. When it comes to private sector, I think we have successful business ventures, but can we be satisfied with that alone? But what about emerging sectors in the economy as well as in the business arena? Who will give the big push to those people? I have no idea of giving a solution, but I have a feeling that we must mobilize like thinking people. Maybe how to do that? Kind of champions are necessary in this way. I don't think politicians can give that pioneering big push. The champions should emerge from the civil society. They must be prepared to sacrifice. At the same time, they must have brains to utilize our own resources to harness the potentials. That's the only way I can think that we can get out of this trap. We talk about debt trap, we talk about foreign exchange trap. All those traps are temporary if we mobilize our own human resources to get out of that trapped situation. Our own behavior, human behavior is the most fundamental element that we must promote. Sri Lanka has enough manpower, educated manpower. In that sense, I think like-minded people must get together and promote and be prepared to take our views forward, because some people like me who are retired government officers who do not want to exercise or work too hard, maybe trying to enjoy retirement, but as a human being we have very short life, and during that life why can't we contribute to the upliftment of the society? That can come from each one as initiative and offering skills or the intelligent views, and work together, form maybe a small group. Forming small groups, like-minded people can make a change. So what is essential here is a change to the positive directions, rather than talking about negative elements and who did what and blaming others, but focus on way forward to the future to achieve this not only the United Nations sustainable goals, but goals developed for our own country also. So in that sense, I think I invite like-minded people to come forward voluntarily to take the lead and take our country forward. And I wish very soon during our lifetime, this island in the Indian Ocean will be a paradise very soon. Thank you.